What's going on, guys? What's going on? I hope everyone can see me well. And if you're joining us on this live, welcome. If you're watching this on the replay, leave your comments down below. Either way, we will get to all the questions that you guys are asking throughout this live stream. And if you are joining us live, please leave those questions in the chat and I will see them here. So we got Manake, we got Keith Robinson. Thank you guys for joining me, and thank you. And I apologize for the delay. I was setting this thing up. It's a new set here, and I was like, okay, I could figure it out by myself, and it took a little bit longer. But regardless, today's presentation is all about diving into new things happening within e-commerce, such as integrations into all the platforms that you need to sell across the world, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, Amazon, all of which is brought to you by Gelato, Gelato is a print-on-demand platform. They made this live stream possible, and we'll be diving into what this means later on, because more importantly, right now, today, Friday being the middle of the month with a few weeks left of the year, this live stream is for you guys. And I genuinely want to connect with you guys, and I genuinely want to know where you're at, how we can better serve you, and how we can better assist you moving into 2025. And with that in mind, and with that being the case, I actually want to ask you guys one question. Where is it that you see your biggest opportunity for growth next year in 2025? Where do you see yourself selling? Do you see yourself selling just on Shopify? Do you see yourself expanding into other platforms like Etsy or TikTok Shop or even the Meta shops, which I'm not sure if they are as active as they used to be, but you know, we definitely got TikTok Shop, we got Amazon, and we also got Etsy, which are going to be huge movers for those of you guys who are focusing on print on demand. But for those of you guys who aren't focused on necessarily just print on demand, where is it that you see your biggest opportunity for your brand, for yourself, and for your life in 2025? Now, drop that in the comments, in the chat box that we got going on. I want to know where you guys are at. So for those of you guys that are watching, let me know. It's always really good to see where you are, to see where we can better serve you with content. And Keith, you said I'd like to sell on any of them. Okay, that's a good starting point. And I guess that is important to note is every platform kind of has its intricacies, and I guess we'll begin there. Every platform that you sell on has its nuances, right? It has its little things that you need to do. You could sell and list on all of them. There's definitely no knocking that. But what I see works the best is if you dive into one of them and you truly try to master that platform. And by truly trying to master that platform, you get to know, like, okay, what type of listings should you put? What type of content should you put out? Should it be treated like a social media site? For instance, Etsy is a social media site in a way. It works on every time you do a product listing, every time you update a category, it's the algorithm is favoring your store. So if you're not as active on that Etsy shop, you're not going to get much traffic because Etsy is all about trying to get free traffic. Whereas when you go into TikTok Shop, you're essentially competing for eyeballs with content that you can create that can then go to your store and buy that product that's integrated into it. So there's different strategies for each one. And even though you may want to sell on all of them, I would highly encourage you to dial into one of them and really start with listing on that platform. Because even with the registration, as we'll show in a little bit throughout this video, even with the registration, the process of registering, it's actually pretty intricate as well. You got to have certain documents. TikTok Shop has been delaying the processing of new stores, so there's a lot of groundwork that you need to do before you actually launch that store. So it could be overwhelming, guys. What I'm trying to say is that it could be very overwhelming if you try to do all of them at once, or if you try to prepare everything so you could do all of them at once, where it's a way better approach. And I recommend, if you don't have a team, that you take this approach, that you choose one platform that you get to learn. Start by registering for that platform, submit your documents, make sure you're a verified seller. That on its own can take a few weeks. So if your goal is to sell on platforms starting in 2025, start there, start submitting your applications, and then start saving some of the stores that you see are doing some pretty innovative stuff. There might be some sellers in there, which we can actually dive into one of them right now. We got Ara Lopez from Houston, Texas. You know, I was just in Houston this last week, so I was at the airport. I didn't get to actually visit the city, but I've been to Dallas. Awesome place. Texas has a very unique vibe. My wife is from El Paso, so we got Manak. I started my journey with t-shirts last year. You're one of the inspirations. I've sold a few tees to my friends. Oh, that's kind of cool. I can actually bring your comment up. So let's bring your comment up right here. I started my journey with t-shirts last year. You're one of the inspirations. I've sold a few tees to my friends and family, sold a few bulk for corporate orders, but then it stuck. By the way, I'm from India and I'm a regular follower of your content. Manak, I am so sorry if I am chopping up your name, my man. So first of all, okay, amazing the fact that you started selling. The fact that you took your idea and you started selling, and now you sold a few teas for your friends and family, and you sold a few bulk orders for corporate orders. So what this tells me is that you started with a design, you started with some idea of a brand, and then it didn't necessarily expand beyond your friends and family. That's really where you want to work out. Your primary focus should be where you work out. How do you expand those designs and the brand that you made to expand beyond friends and family, right? So friends and family, I'll tell you from experience, they will always be supportive of what you're trying to do, even if they don't like it. Even if they're like, yo, that thing does not look good, but you know what? I like my boy John. I'm going to support him, and then you got a bunch of people wearing your stuff and you're like, yes, but why won't more people buy it, right? Then you get into this thing of like, wait, if that person liked it and they told me they liked it, I bugged them 50 times to buy it and they finally bought it, and then they say they love it. It's almost like, you're in the kitchen and your mom makes you something and the food isn't really that good, but you don't want to tell her that because she put some time and effort into it. That's kind of what selling to friends and family is like. They're going to tell you it's good, they're going to tell you they like it, but it's not going to spread beyond that. So in order for that to spread beyond that, you got to focus on selling to friends or family members that are a part of your audience. A lot of times when people start a brand or they start selling products, they want to just kind of make it for something that they like. And that's not the way it works. You got to make it for a certain person or a certain audience. So tell me a little bit more about the design or the niche that you entered, Manak. Please tell me where you're at, what niche it is, what if it's a sports brand in tennis or in pickleball or whatever it is. Tell me what niche you're in. And I'll give you a little bit better examples, but you got to start by attracting a certain audience. And if you can connect even to just one person in your family or friends group and they love it, truly love it, you didn't have to push it on them, then now you could better understand what other products you might design for them, right? So don't always just design for yourself and say, this is what I like, guys, buy it, because it's going to be a very hard road to grow. Whereas if you focus on a market and you find one or two people in your family or your friends list that are into that market, and then you work with them to design and create stuff that they love, then they'll also tell all of their friends that are a part of that group and club, hey, come shop with Manak. He's got this gear. It's really good. The quality is legit. Pricing is nice. The designs, everything looks good. They'll want to talk about it. And that's how you start to sell beyond your friends and beyond your immediate circle. So it's always about, in anything you do, in your marketing, in your designs, in the product sourcing, it's all about understanding who your key audience is going to be, who's that one person you're creating it for, and then from that, the word of mouth gets out and it starts to sell. And for the corporate side as well, if you deliver on it, then you ask for referrals. You say, hey, you like what I made for you guys? Would love to take on some referrals. Let's do some commission kickback. If you refer me anybody, I'll give you 10% of that order, right? So make sure you got the margins in there to be able to do those type of corporate referrals. But there might be one person in that corporate office that is essentially connected to a lot of other corporate offices, right? Everybody talks and they say, hey, come work with Manak. He did some great job on our merch. And then by referring you to that customer, you get to close a lead. They get to get a little commission and kickback, and it's a win-win-win. So always try to find those win-wins when you're doing business. All right, so let's see. Now we got Debs Rod Shop. If you guys are just joining this live stream, we're diving into new updates happening on e-commerce, from new integrations in the TikTok shop to Amazon, all brought to you guys by Gelato.com. Make sure you guys check out Gelato, which is a global print-on-demand network. Let me go ahead and bring Gelato to stage real quick. I hope you guys can see my screen. And what Gelato is, guys, for those of you guys wondering what print on demand is, this print on demand in other, like if you're in the UK and you're trying to sell in the US, oftentimes you have to make the product in your country and ship it over to the US, and then it takes some time, and then you also gotta go through all the customs and paperwork, and getting it to your customer may or may not reach there. And what Gelato does for you guys is it actually has a network of print shops. So if you're selling in the UK and your customer orders in the US, the order doesn't ship from the UK. It goes into a print shop in the US. That print shop prints it and it delivers it to your customer. So it's a lot quicker. It's a lot more seamless. And what's really cool about what they're doing is that they just expanded into multiple stores. So you have direct connection. So if you're selling on Shopify, it's a seamless connection to your Shopify store. If you're selling on Etsy, it's a seamless connection to Etsy. And their two new offerings are Amazon and TikTok Shop. Now, what this means is essentially if you want to start selling on Amazon, you could start selling with print on demand directly using Gelato. So you don't have to try to find another connection anywhere. You literally create your seller account on Amazon, and then you directly integrate to Gelato's platform. So everything that you're doing, so your product catalog, whatever you design, is automatically can be published to Amazon, can be published to TikTok Shop, can be published to Etsy, can be published to your Shopify store. You could sell on every platform from one single dashboard, right? And I think that's a key critical component, guys, when it comes to e-commerce. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, is that you shouldn't necessarily focus on trying to do all of them, but you should focus on at least one of them, and you should find a print provider that can help you bring those products that are for a very specific market. It can help you bring those products to that specific market within that platform. So if you guys are watching this right now, we're gonna talk a little bit more about this in a second. But for now, I want to take your guys' questions. This live stream is for you guys. Like I mentioned, it's coming up to the end of the year. A lot of times the end of the year starts, it's if you haven't already been preparing for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we got 2 weeks left on that. Literally next week is your last week to make sure everything's ready for promotions. So it takes a lot of work up front. If you haven't already been there, but you're preparing for 2025, now is a perfect time to get everything in a row, to get your ducks in a row. So any questions you guys may have, any things that might be bothering you this year, things that you may have not found answers to, or maybe just a conversation you want to put out, maybe some things you're feeling stuck in a certain way, how can we assist you? That's what I'm here on this live stream for today. And I also asked, what opportunities do you guys see for yourself in 2025? So what do you see for your brand or for your life in 2025 within your business? What opportunities are in the market that you want to pursue? Share them in the chat. Let's have a conversation. Let's start figuring it out together. All right. So we got recently, so Manak gave me some great follow-ups here. I'm only targeting musicians. I myself am a musician, and I travel to perform throughout my country. I have made my band's merch and sold a few of them here and there, but I really need to grow. So awesome, man. So awesome. Please drop your link to your music site. I would love to see it, man. If you're on YouTube or if you got an Instagram page, would love to follow the journey myself, because I love to see what you guys are really doing, what you guys are doing outside of just a view on a video. Like seeing your journey and seeing what you're working on drives me to create better content for you. So for this, you're a musician. Okay. I am only targeting musician as I am a musician myself, and you travel to perform throughout the country. All right. So since you are targeting musicians, right? It's almost like since you are a musician, and let's just say you're I don't know exactly the music industry. I'm assuming there's a certain genre that you really specialize in, but regardless, you're a musician, and if you're selling to other musicians, the market is going to be pretty small because not everybody is a musician, right? So because you're selling to other musicians, maybe the strategy, if you are doing that, isn't to just sell within your market, like within your genre of music, but as a music label as a whole, right? So anybody that is a musician, if you expand beyond your genre is what I'm trying to say. Because right now, if you're touring and you're touring to these other places, and I'm assuming there's other groups of people that maybe have similar music to you, or you're in a certain city, it's going to be pretty hard to sell products to other people that are also trying to sell products to their fans, right? So in a way, you have to think a little bit, you have to expand what that niche is going to be, because you've been very, very niche down, right? So if we start up here at the top level and it's for everybody, you don't necessarily want to create something for everybody, right? But then if you come down a level and maybe it's only for a group of people that like pickleball, right? Let's just say, I keep mentioning pickleball because it's one of those genres that are still trending, is still growing. And let's just say that is a sub level of this level, right? So now you got a smaller niche, but it's a pretty big market. But then if you niche down one more level on pickleball, maybe you have people that are 60 or 50 and over, or maybe 18 to 25, right? So you got like streetwear designs. You just niche down a pretty good amount. But the way that you're niching down is going down one more level, and you're at the level of like, okay, I'm for pickleball users that play competitiveness, right? That like to compete. They play every Saturday and they travel the country to do it. Now you just brought down a very broad audience that has some pretty good potential down to a handful, maybe a couple hundred people, and that's going to be hard to do. So whenever you guys are thinking about your market, you don't want to niche down all the way to that level, because your market size isn't ever going to give you the ability to close more sales. If you only have a couple hundred people you could sell to, then you're going to max out at 10, 20 of those people. Even if you sell 20, you're at 20% of that market. It's a pretty big market share of 100, right? So you always want to go a little bit more broad. Don't go super broad for everybody, but you want to niche down maybe 2 levels, and 2 levels max to start, for you to start. And then you want to start expanding upwards and outwards from that. So make sure that you are keeping that in mind. All right. Keep in mind how far niche down you are before you box yourself in too much and you wonder why nobody's buying it. So let's start answering some questions here. Let's keep them coming, guys. How do you protect your brand from others copying it? Such a good question. Man, I'm not even gonna try your name. I don't want to chop it up, but let's call you Mel. Hold on, I'm gonna grab a quick water. And for those of you guys who are joining us live, we're diving into some strategies, tips, things that you guys need to know before 2025. Brought to you by Gelato.com. Gelato.com. Oh, Gelato.com and Malak. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So here we are. We're discussing. Drop your chats in the comments below. We're going to be diving into a couple things. Let's see. I have no luck making sales. I plan on learning how to do that in 2025. Debs Rod Shop. That's cool. I like the name. I see a profile picture there. That's nice. I'm gonna have to check out your YouTube channel. Okay, I have no luck making sales. I plan on learning how to do that in 2025. Again, okay. Let me paint a picture to you guys when it comes to sales. All right. So let's say you are okay. Let's say I'm gonna give you guys a real case example. So something that recently, something I've been recently sold to. Okay, this is a really good example. Okay, let's say you developed a product that's for let's just say you developed a product that's for people that work out, right? Let's just paint that picture. You may or may not work out, right? But let's just say you developed a product line for somebody that works out, but you're trying to sell that product line to people that enjoy watching TV and playing video games. You see where that disconnect is going to happen, and it's going to be hard to make those sales. Your selling ability comes from the understanding of who you're selling to and the products that you're making for them. If you are not getting sales, that means that you're not designing something for somebody, right? That there's no market product fit. It starts with the product market fit. Once you get that product market fit, you'll understand you got it because you're getting some sales. You're getting people to buy, and you're like, okay, interesting. This person's buying. And then you're communicating with your customers and you're asking them, where are you? What are you about? What are your interests, passions, hobby? You're starting to learn more about them. You take that information you learn about them and you create designs, better designs, that you can then reach more of that customer. If you're not getting any sales, guys, it's because you're designing something that nobody wants to buy. And that's where you have to start. You have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what am I going to make and who am I selling it to? And once you could find those two connecting, you should be able to close some sales. It's still not going to be as easy. I mean, you still got to build credibility, right? So credibility is key. Building the brand messaging, building your product offering in a way that stands out. It's not just, hey, this is a print on demand platform, buy it. It needs to look a little more elevated. So in a recent video, right? But how do I find those customers? That's another question. Cool. How do I find those customers? It's a great question. So when you understand who you're selling to, there's a lot of different ways to go about finding where they hang out, right? Sometimes they may be following certain influencers, they may be following certain Discord threads, or they may be a part of certain Reddit groups or Facebook groups, or they may be watching certain content, right? So once you find out who you're selling to, you can find out where they hang out. And once you find out where they hang out, it's all about being a part of that conversation. So online, it's about being a part of the conversation, making content for those groups or for those communities, letting people know, hey, this is what I do. The people that like it will gravitate to it, and you start getting those customers. The other aspect of it is once you understand it organically, and once you've been able to talk to them organically, you can start running paid ads to reach more of those people. So by understanding their interests, their hobbies, who they follow, all of that can be fed to the meta out to the meta ads. And essentially it can start to niche down into that group. And by spending $5-10 a day, you start to get that exact customer to your store. But most people will start running ads before they understand why their customers are buying from them or what designs they're buying. So they start spending money on ads with not the right product, not the right website, not the right descriptions, not the right selling points, and the ad doesn't go anywhere. The money that you're spending doesn't go anywhere. So you need to start by identifying who that customer is and ensuring that you can design and create a brand that makes that person want to buy that product. So start there. How do you find those customers? You find them by figuring out who they are, where they hang out. And then from that, you start to become a part of that conversation. You start to create content around it. You start to attract people through that content to your pages. And then you start building rapport and you capture them on an email because they're not going to buy the first time. So if you have a website, you've got to have opt-in forms and you got to have ways to capture leads. So any marketing work that you guys are doing, it needs to go to an email list, because in a real case example, recently I was working with a good friend of mine and I was like, dude, you're not maximizing your email campaigns. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. And from his very small list of less than 200 people, he sold over $5,000 in his initial drop. That's less than 200 people buying literally $130, $150 worth of products from him. But it begins by understanding who that audience is. And then it began with him creating content for that audience, really understanding that audience, building that messaging so the conversation stays at top of mind. When they went to the website, they were greeted with an opt-in page. Hey, be one of the first. They opted in. He built up his email campaign launch strategy and he closed sales. That is the level of detail it takes, guys. It's not just going to be about posting once or twice and you saying, hey, I'm not getting any sales. What's going on? It's because you need to really understand who you're selling to and you need to create the content and have the product that they want to buy. All right. So let's go. How do we pair people for our brand industry? Well, SEO help. Will SEO help when it comes to selling? It can. Yes, it can. But I would say SEO is one of those things right now that's like, with Google, even with Google, the AI, the Google Gemini or whatever, if you Google something right now, you literally get the answer at the top. And I would say probably less than 70% of the time will I actually go and look at any other websites. So it's almost like SEO has been completely ruined on Google. So if you're trying to do SEO right now, it may or may not be something that's worthwhile. It's something that's a long game, right? It's not going to be anything that pays off right now or next week or a month from now. It might pay off in 6 months, but it won't pay off right now. So instead of trying to do SEO for products, you should really focus on building your content strategy, because organic SEO, if you can grow organically on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, that's really where you can start to build a community and start getting these sales, because SEO is a long game. You should be doing it. Definitely be doing it. It's not like you shouldn't be doing it. You should definitely be focused on it, but don't make that your catch-all be-all. I hope that makes sense. All right, so let's see. Let's go. Next thing. All right, if you guys are joining us, man, I've had such great conversations with you guys. Please leave your comments in the chats below. We're going to be answering some questions throughout the next hour, so we'll be here. We'll be sharing game. My question to you guys, for those of you guys watching, if you can leave your response to this, is what plans or opportunities do you see for yourself in 2025? What I mean by this is, where do you plan to sell on? What platforms do you plan to focus on? What tools maybe do you want to master? Is it going to be the Adobe Creative Cloud? Is it going to be the CapCut? Is it going to be some other stuff that you guys are really honing in on? Where do you see yourself in 2025, and what opportunities do you see for your brand in 2025? Leave them in the chat below so we can go through it. We can have a good conversation. We had a couple people that said, hey, they want to sell on every platform. And we've been talking about the importance of figuring out who the audience is, as well as starting with one platform so they can master it. Now, this live stream was brought to you guys by Gelato, and Gelato is a print-on-demand platform that allows you to sell anywhere. All right, could sell on any platform. So that's the beauty about Gelato. And we've done a couple videos on the channel. If you guys have been watching some of the more recent ones, you can see how easy it is to design products, but then more importantly, how easy it is to start integrating those products into different stores. So if you're selling on Shopify, you could publish your products to your Shopify store. If you then decide, hey, maybe Etsy's a good route, you can then publish products to your Etsy store. Everything can be managed within Gelato. And they also have some really good, analytics, things that are working in the marketplace, as well as mock-up studios. You can create new mock-ups here. They help you do all kinds of things to brand your products and to sell your designs. So it's a great tool. It's a great opportunity. If you guys use gelato.com/John, so I'm going to put that in the chat, gelato.com/John, you guys can get your first sample order 50% off. What this means is that you can literally get anything that you're ordering 50% off on Gelato. So if you have a collection idea, maybe you want to buy a couple products, see how they turn out, by using gelato.com/John and signing up, as long as you place your order within 3 business days, you'll be able to claim that 50% off. So I recommend that you create your account and you start to place the order as soon as you're done with your designs and you want to order a couple things. So gelato.com/John, they made Amazon integration possible, as well as TikTok Shop. Now, for the moment, I want to dive into TikTok. Very specific on TikTok. And sorry, how do we hire employees? There's a couple questions here. I'm going to answer them with you guys. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. So if you're watching this right now, any question that you have, anything that you want to dive into in 2025, leave your questions now. I want to better understand where you are so we can better serve you in this next year and next few months. And I guess it's probably a good time to let you all know that we have a new domain for the community. So if you guys have tried to join the community within the last few days, I need to update all the links, but the official community is now streetcraftercommunity.com. So go over there, check it out. This is where we are communicating on a weekly basis. I put exclusive content conversations on that platform. So go ahead and join that. It's free to join. There's no strings attached. You guys join it. We can connect on there. You guys can give us updates on your brand. We can give you suppliers you may need, tips and resources that may be helpful. All of that is on streetcraftercommunity.com. It's free to join, and there's an app called Mighty Networks. Mighty Networks is what hosts our community. So if you download that to your phone, turn on post notifications, You guys will be alerted of any exclusive behind the scenes content that we develop, as well as organic posts and conversations that people in our community have. And I think one of the coolest things about that community is that, well, we recently crossed, I think, 1,400 members. So I want to go ahead and say, and that was a pretty big accomplishment for us as we launched it earlier this year. So we're at 1,400 members there. And what's really cool about that, the fact that the more members we get, the more it starts to localize everybody. So what this means is, let's say you're in the US and you're in Virginia, or maybe you're in Kansas, and you're like, man, I want to start my brand, but I'm not really sure what to do. Who do I network with? Who lives around me? The app itself will bring people that are close to you. So it'll say, hey, these are people that live within your state or city, right? And there's been some amazing connections that have happened because of that, because people are now finding other people that are within their own cities, and there's collaborations that happen that way. There's photographers in there. There's people that design websites, do logos. There's all kinds of assistance that is happening just organically. And that's really what we had envisioned for it. So it's been really cool to see it come together, and really see it make, and really see it do that, because honestly, that's one of the coolest things I have always wanted to do, is find a way to not just do content on YouTube, but to really assist you guys in a very deeper level. So I think you guys can see, let me see if you can see this right here. So once you go to streetcraftercommunity.com, it should take you to this page here. And what you want to do, so you can also download the Mighty app there, like I was talking about, and then head on over, request to join. Submit your information, and within 24 hours, we typically approve. So we want to make sure everybody is legit. So we want to screen everybody that joins. So you have to answer a couple questions to let us know where you're at, what you plan to do. And then that way, the people that are approved are real people and real accounts. It's not like just a bunch of bots and people trying to sell you stuff. So it's a great community. I love it. I have big plans for it in 2025. 2024 was about us starting it, right? And I think that's the model of everything. The model of, if you want to sell on every platform, if you want to start building your brand, it starts with building it on one platform, all right? Don't spread yourself too thin, because there's always the opportunity for you to try to take on everything. And it almost feels like I'm talking to myself, because every time that you start to take on everything, nothing is really done at the pace that you want it to. But as soon as you focus on that one thing, and if you're just laser focused on it, even for a month or a few weeks, you get that thing done so much quicker that it gives you time to breathe and to actually start seeing results. So start with one thing, and then the rest will come together. Okay, so we got Debs Rod Shop. I'm trying to get away from painting cars next year. I have a Shopify store linked all over the internet. I'm going to find my niche and hit the reset button on everything. Debs Rod Shop. Okay. You mind sharing your website? Would love to see your website, Debs Rod Shop. I like your profile picture on your YouTube channel. So if you share it, I would love to see it. I would love to give you some feedback, maybe help you push that reset button in the right way. So if you're listening, if you're still tuning into there, Deb, share the link. I don't know if it will allow you to do the .com. So just do like your brand's name and then just put .com, because I think if you try to link it, it won't go through. So just do your, like, for instance, Street Crafter Community, and then just write .store or .net, write the .dot. That way it goes through into our chat here. Cool. Have to go. Keith, thanks for joining us. Where should we choose? Does Gelato? Okay, a question about Gelato. While we wait for Deb to maybe have his website link so we can give him some feedback. Des, does Gelato allow inside label branding on clothing? It does allow you to do some printing on the neck. So it does allow you to do some like inner branding with print. So yes, it does. Actual clothing labels is very rare anybody does. It's more of like an applique thing. But when it comes to Gelato, they do printed neck tags, so they can take the brand off. We also had another question that came in from Raquette Club. I hope I said that the right way. What's up, John? Would you recommend being an SP or LLC for a new fashion brand on TikTok Shop? Great question. Great question. So, would you recommend a sole proprietor or an LLC? Now, it really, honestly, if this is your first time around, and I'm assuming maybe you're in college or right out of college, maybe in your mid 20s, and if the state filing fee is like close to zero for a sole proprietor and you're on a budget and you're trying to prove things out, then a sole proprietor is a route to go. If on the other hand, you're like, yo, I have some money, the LLC and sole proprietor kind of cost around the same amount, always go with the LLC if you can afford it. It's going to set you up for the long game versus the sole proprietor. When you just register as a sole proprietor, what happens is you're going to end up changing later on, and just changing documents is the one thing that's a pain. Like when you start a new company or you have to do new accounting. When you're running as a sole proprietor, all the accounting goes to your personal taxes. When you do an LLC, now you have company taxes, and there's more write-offs and abilities that you can do with it. And also when it comes to public information, right? So when you're registering for either Shopify or TikTok, the seller account information is made public. So whatever addresses you put on there is going to be visible to people. So keep that stuff in mind. But if you're a sole proprietor, there's ways to get mail forwarding addresses, like a PO box or like a mailbox with a physical address. Right now, what's happening was really interesting. I was talking to some bankers. Is there's a crackdown on business registrations to like mail forwarding addresses, which is pretty interesting. I never thought about that. But banks are now they're having to analyze like where are the businesses registered, and is this potentially fraud or scam? And since everything is algorithm driven, they're actually denying applications to banks and cards. So keep that in mind as well. If you're going to be using an address that's not your home address, do your best to find a legitimate mailbox store that provides you a physical mailing address, not like one of these mail forwarding addresses. So like a virtual one and stuff like that. Those virtual ones are the ones that are getting flagged most. It has to be a physical location in the state that you're doing business in. A little bit of tidbit. Sometimes it doesn't register right now, but later on when you're doing your LLC, you might be like, yo, this was very helpful. Glad I bought this PO box or this certain mailbox. Okay, so we got Raquette Club. Let's see. Okay. I'm trying to dive deeper with TikTok Shop. All right, let's dive deeper into TikTok Shop. I've been procrastinating. I actually found a TikTok Shop account that I thought was kind of cool. I found a couple other ones. It was political season, guys. So I was trying to show other stuff, but I didn't want to I didn't want to show that. But there are some good ones. The political ones always do well. So there's a video coming out on Monday that I talk more about this. But when it comes to selling and establishing a brand, especially on TikTok Shop, specifically for TikTok Shop, one of the things that are going to do well, the thing that's going to do the best, is going to be about trying to follow trends before they become trends, right? Since TikTok is an algorithm, it wants to be on trend with stuff. It doesn't want to show outdated trends. And if you're just creating original designs, sometimes it may not resonate with the people on TikTok, or TikTok may find it hard to place. So a hack, and something that is definitely working within TikTok, is to find a trending categories and design for trends, right? So the political season was an example of something that I was like, whoa, there was so much with political, but then there was also a lot within just media. So movies, certain genres, quotes. Right now is a holiday season. So everything that I'm seeing that's like really, really getting hundreds of thousands or millions of views is things within holidays, right? So TikTok wants to be on trend. So whenever you're creating designs, think about how can you design a collection for TikTok Shop that's going to be on trend and allow you to close sales if you're doing print on demand. So Gelato, for instance, plugs directly into TikTok Shop. So if you use that product within a video, then the person can actually check out right there, and it gets processed through Gelato. Gelato ships it out to your customer, and you get paid from TikTok Shop. So That's honestly the hack. Let me pull up this example real quick. Apologize for. Okay, so we got this Willow Boutique. This was somebody that came across the feed. They're doing some. I mean, they're consistent. So that's another thing, guys. That's another thing that I'm gonna let you guys know right now is that it's all about being consistent within your content. It's never going to be. You're never going to knock it out the park like this all the time, right? So like you're never going to always get 100K views. Sometimes you might only get a couple hundred views, but those couple hundred views would hopefully translate to sales, right? So this person's doing some live events, so they're not just selling on their TikTok shop, they're actually doing live sales. So these live sales here is an opportunity for you to essentially connect with your audience. You could They could register to that event. She can showcase an entire line, some deals, some new arrivals, flash sales. TikTok shop is all about engagement. It's not just about posting your product up and hoping somebody likes it and buys it. It's about creating content that can connect. And if you're not comfortable on camera, that's okay. There's ways to do it without being on camera. But that's the reason why I said it's so important for you to take the time to dive into one platform. So even though you may want to sell on every platform in 2025, I encourage you and recommend that you dive into one platform and that you start saving some of the sellers and things that you start seeing on the For You page. Start saving them, bookmarking them, put them in an Excel sheet or like in a Google Doc, and use that as research as to what's working. Find out why is it that some content blew up? Why is it that certain designs are doing well? What's being promoted the most, right? So like one of the things that caught my attention with her content is that 6 days ago, right? So she posted this 6 days ago, and it's Christmas, right? So she's already pushing the Christmas theme. This was 6 days. So she got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We got 26, 20, 30, 34, 38, 42. I mean, she has like 50 posts over the last 6 days. Probably more because I think she might have been 6 days in further down. Guys, 50 posts over the course of 1 week. That is the level of detail. That is the level of commitment you need to have in a platform, because it's not going to be a post a day. It's not going to be the way you sell your products on TikTok Shop. It's going to be multiple posts, multiple designs, multiple on trend categories. Like, she's doing an incredible job. She did this thing here. She got, what is your favorite North Pole bundle outfit? And people are interacting 3, 4, and 6. Oh, so cute. I need all those crew necks. I can't wait for Pink Friday. That right there tells me that she's got an engaged audience. The people love shopping from her, right? They're waiting for the sale that's coming up on the 22nd, and she has engagement. But look, right here, it doesn't show. It's 1,000 views on that one. This one got 2,000. Some of them are only getting 500 or 395. But she's got products, and she continues to hit the customers over the head in new ways. It's not just one design. All right. So this is the difference, guys. If you want to start selling on a platform, you need to understand what the platform prefers. If you just have 1 or 2 designs, it might be hard to market that unless you take the time to market it in very unique ways. But let's face it, we don't all have unlimited time, and we don't have employees. Not everybody has the opportunity to get an employee and to do the marketing for them. So that means that you got to find ways to maximize your efforts. And by the looks of it, she's got some user generated content, but then the majority of the content is with her, and she's talking to her audience, and she's inviting her audience to shop with her and to look at the design she's doing. She also does get some user generated content though. So she might reach out and say, hey, can you make a video of you wearing it? I'll give you a certain discount, right? Like, there's offers that she gives people, and people want to be showcased, right? So there's so many opportunity here, guys. There's a lot of opportunity for you to grow, but it's about understanding what the platform prefers. And in this case, 50 posts in a week, that's literally like 10 posts a day, almost 10 posts a day. So that's 10 pieces of content a day that she's putting out with apparel around Christmas. And you see, in Christmas is just starting to ramp up, and everything closes around December 15th when it comes to shipping, December 20th at the fastest. So she's already working 30 days in advance to get the content out. So hopefully TikTok will pick up some of those trends and she'll be able to trend on that and start closing sales on that. So then Pink Friday is the event that she had. She does a great job in actually organizing her audience. They know about the Pink Friday events she has. She promotes it. She pushes it out. She's also got a website. So she also has a website here. And she's even got an app. I saw that she had an app, a text club, Facebook group, Instagram. There's wholesale opportunities for people that want to resell what she makes. There's everything is just promoted. It's here, it's front and center. There's so much to choose from. She does an amazing job with her website. She has a lot of different products. So she obviously knows how to source for really good products at pretty good prices. So if we come over to the Christmas collection, we might see that it's like, whoa, it's $26 for this one. She's not taking these photos. These are all mock-ups, right? So these are all mock-ups that are generated. She probably has a couple mock-up packs that she buys. She kind of looks like that girl, and there's also opportunities to change that, right? So there's some pretty good. Let's head on over here and show you guys this. This here allows you to actually download your photos. So any print-on-demand photos that you might be getting, mock-ups, flat lays, you can actually go in and replace. So even if you take a photo with that product but you don't want to show yourself, it'll generate an AI version for you that looks high end for your e-commerce store, right? So taking that level, or even if you do a flat lay, you don't have the time to actually put that product on, but you like what you made, you can take a photo of the flat lay and it puts it on a model for you, right? So there's so many opportunities now for you guys to better brand your store. So sometimes when it comes to selling, it's about standing out and really legitimizing what you're selling. If it looks like a basic, everybody now knows that, like, okay, that's kind of basic. It's maybe, I don't know, the person looks like they just started out. Will they even ship my order? There's so many reasons not to buy from you that you need to build trust with your audience. And by building trust, that means the design's got to be legit. You got to have some pretty good photography. You got to have some reviews. You got to have some shipping windows and times. You got to have good follow-ups. You got to have automated emails. You got to have an opportunity for them to get SMS texting, right? These are all things that you need to be thinking about when it comes to selling online. So tools such as like OmniSend, for instance, will actually allow you to automate a lot of this. So it takes time. I'm not going to lie, guys. A lot of these tools take time to set up. Some of them actually, like OmniSend, if you're just getting started, you can set it up in 5-10 minutes and literally connect it to your Shopify store, and it starts to automatically send abandoned carts and do everything that you need to get your customers back. And since it integrates into every platform, it makes it really easy. So Boutica allows you to do the AI side, and then Gelato allows you to sell on every marketplace. So that's some of the things that you guys need to keep in mind as you are selling and building a brand, is that it's going to take time to do some of these things. So you want to focus on one thing at a time. Right. So at the beginning of this, one of the questions I asked you guys is, what do you want to do next year? And it's like, I want to sell everywhere. It's a great goal, but start with one thing and then do that very well before you move to the next. Because every channel you open is going to have customer support. It's going to have returns. It's going to have issues that you need to encounter. So you need to build the muscle of actually working in order for it to like not overwhelm you. And then you're like, you know what? I burnt out. I don't want to do this no more. Right. It's all about building a muscle in everything that you do. So Raquette Club, TikTok shop wouldn't allow me to sign up without an EIN number. That is something that is true. You need to register. So the question that came up earlier is sole proprietor versus LLC. Either one, you need to register with an irs.gov. So if you guys are, regardless of if you're selling on TikTok shop or if you're going to sell on Amazon, I'm gonna show you guys something real quick. The EIN number is super easy to get, guys. Don't feel overwhelmed by it. Very easy to get. We have videos, very basic videos about it, but honestly, just don't go to the .coms, go to the .gov. So if you come in here, you click on that, and then you come for apply for an EIN number. I think this only works Monday through Friday, like 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. So keep that in mind too. I know it did last year. I don't know if maybe they changed it, but a few years ago, it was like it only was Monday through Friday for whatever reason. It was really weird. But anyways, as long as you do it during operating hours, you come through here. If you're a sole proprietor, you click that, and then you just come in here. And then that's it. And you just go through this, started a new business, authenticate your info. I am the sole proprietor. It literally takes a few minutes at the end. You're going to get your EIN number. You're going to use that to register for Amazon Seller Central, to register for TikTok Shop, to register for any account that you need. You need to have your legalities in place. You can't just sign up with your ID, guys. You need to have your business paperwork. So if you're doing a sole proprietor, if you're doing an LLC, you still need that paperwork. So let's see. This is actually a really good point here. So John, I noticed a lot of TikTok stores selling bootleg designs using celebrities on their shirt. I'm surprised some of these print-on-demand companies allow that. Me too. Honestly, me too. It's one of those things where, so I've asked that, and I've been into every print-on-demand platform there is. And it's honestly one of those things where it's up to the music label to enforce it. So, and then it's also up to interpretation as if it's free, if it's like a new use, right? So obviously there's court cases now. I think the most recent one that it was the artist that had taken that photography. Anyways, and then he made some merch off of it, and then he sold millions of dollars on it, and then he got sued, right, from the original photographer. But those types of cases are rare, and sometimes people will do it in a way that looks like new art, and because it looks like new art, the print-on-demand companies are assuming that you have the license, or because you created that art, it is going to fall back on you, right? But when it comes to Disney stuff, man, you don't play with Disney, because Disney will come after you. So I seen earlier last year, a couple people really were into the DTF printing game. Not going to name them, but they got shut down, and they were selling millions of dollars worth of Disney stuff, and I'm sure Disney sued them for a couple million. So Disney, don't play with them. They will come after you. They have like anything on print on demand, when it comes to Disney, it automatically gets kicked back. Like they're going to say, we can't print this, because Disney will sue the print on demand companies, because they have that much control over their IP. When it comes to artists and photography and stuff like that, it's a little hard. It's a little harder to say. So that's the reason why a lot of stuff like that is going on TikTok. Videos or photos ratio percentage. I would definitely need more samples to make more content like her. Yep, got the whole club. That girl is killing it. She is. I never considered TikTok, so that may be a better route than creating a website. Honestly, when it comes to selling online, platforms like TikTok, platforms like Amazon, Etsy are really good if your customer is on it. All right, so TikTok is one of those. TikTok is definitely one of the platforms that you should consider, because it does have everybody of all walks of life, right? That is a reality. Etsy, on the other hand, is more for specific, like, I don't remember the last time I bought anything from Etsy, if I'm being honest. My wife used to sell a lot of products on Etsy, and she sold them to a very specific market. And I know a lot of other sellers who are killing it on Etsy, and they're also selling to that style of market. So Etsy has a very unique market. And if your market is for Etsy, then definitely do that. TikTok is more of a marketplace, so they are doing a good job in appealing to everyone. You can find almost anything that you're interested in on TikTok. So it's a great platform. And if you're not gonna be spending money on ads to market your Shopify store, or if you don't want to focus too much on building a website at the moment, and you want to focus on drop shipping with connecting Gelato to your TikTok store, then it's a great opportunity for you to start. And if you're good with content, if you can really take the time to work on content repeatedly, daily, at least once a day, if not at least 3 to 4 times a week minimum, then a TikTok store and a TikTok shop can definitely be your goal for 2025. Man, Raquel, I appreciate you. Thank you for joining us on this live stream. Again, for those of you guys who are watching and are joining us live, the whole purpose of this live stream was to better understand where you are at. So if you found any value from this, I ask that you leave a comment right now answering this question. The question is, what opportunity do you see for yourself or for your brand in 2025? What I mean by this is, do you see yourself diving more into the creative using visuals and like selling on TikTok shop? Or do you see yourself maybe utilizing more AI and selling on marketplaces like Amazon or on your own Shopify store? Or do you see yourself creating content for brands or selling to other business owners? Like, where is it that you are currently at? And what opportunities do you see for yourself in 2025? I would appreciate, for those of you guys who found some value, take a little moment, leave me that comment. I would love to know where you guys are at and what you're planning to do next year, because that helps me understand you. And by understanding you, I can better tailor the content as well as the emails that'll go out and everything that goes out to support you, right? Because everything that we do here, guys, was started with the goal to help you guys build your brand and business from the ground up. From day one, that has been the mission, and up to this time and up to this day, we continue to go with that mission. So we have a couple of different offers for you guys. We got the streetcraftercommunity.com, again, free to join, so make sure you guys take advantage of that. And then we also have Gelato, which is giving you guys 50% off your sample order. So I'm going to go ahead and share this screen real quick so you guys can see this website. On this website, if you guys sign up through this site, gelato.com/John, you guys should see me there. And it's going to give you 50% off your first purchase if you make it within 3 days of establishing your account. So take the time, create the account when you're ready to place your sample order, and then get 50% off your first purchase. So it's a great opportunity. They just launched their integrations into TikTok's shop as well as Amazon. So they have some incredible ways for you guys to start making more money and to start launching your brand. So again, gelato.com/John gets you started. Amazon and TikTok shop is now something that they're supporting, which will allow you to expand your marketplaces, sell beyond just your Shopify store, and start selling around the world with a push of a button. So Gelato's awesome. Make sure you guys check them out. And let's see. Let's answer one or two more. I got a meeting that just came in. As a graphic designer, I did my sole proprietor under my name. However, I want to create 2 to 3 other businesses. Would you recommend DBA, fictitious name, or should I apply for LLCs for the others? Great question. So the easiest way, if you're starting out, LLC, DBAs. LLC, because your accounting is going to be crazy. And trust me, like once you start to grow and get a lot of sales and revenue in, your taxes and your bookkeeping costs are going to go up, right? So literally thousands of dollars a month is what accounting is going to end up costing you with everything. And that's if you have one streamlined business. So if you have an LLC with DBAs and you have bank accounts for each of the DBAs, it would be the easiest way for you to manage it. QuickBooks is a great tool. Honestly, QuickBooks is awesome. I've also heard of like HoneyBooks. There's a couple others that are a little bit easier. QuickBooks is a little more complicated. I like it for the ability to invoice and to like process things and accounts receivable. And they also have lines of credit, which is kind of cool. So LLC, DBAs. For each DBA, open up a new bank account. You want to have, at the very minimum, a bank account for each business. So if one business, you're selling apparel and you're like, hey, the brand, my LLC houses my brand, that brand should have a bank account. If you're selling another product, it should have a different bank account. And then the reason for that is you want to be able to easily track your profit and losses per business. And then when it comes to the accounting side, your accountant can just easily reconcile everything, versus if everything goes into one account, then it's just going to be for like one business as a general, and it's going to be really hard to break up where the money's coming from and what's making you money, what's losing you money. So make sure you do LLC and then you do DBAs with separate bank accounts in each. That's honestly been the best way to do it. Then final question, basic question from the Mimi Show. Mimi Show, thank you for joining us. I need the best unisex sweater to do embroidery. Great question. The best unisex sweater, honestly, right now, depending on your market. So like even product sourcing, guys, like I've mentioned it at the beginning of this live stream. If you're joining us on the back end of the live stream, we'll have some chapter markers. Definitely go to like the middle, to like the beginning to middle. And we dive about the importance of understanding your customer and how that applies to your designs and your selling strategy. For products, it also matters. Who you're selling to is going to dictate what they want to buy in terms of a product garment, right? So if you're selling to somebody that wants something fairly inexpensive, but they want something really cozy and warm, then like a Bella Canvas unisex hoodie might be your best bet. If you're designing streetwear, then people that want to buy streetwear like to buy heavier weight stuff, right? They want to buy something that feels good and feels quality. If they're spending 60 or 80 bucks on a hoodie, it better not be a Bella Canvas unisex hoodie, right? Because it's like, oh, what is this? It feels cheap. Like it's not that it's cheap, it's just the expectations are different. So you need to understand what you're selling and who you're selling it to. And then from that, you can source the best unisex hoodie. So a good catch-all though, Bella Canvas has some great ones. Lane 7 has some really good ones. I love Lane 7's hoodies. Street Crafter wholesale blanks, we just sold out of them. We had to unlist them because our inventory stock isn't consistent, but they'll be back in the near future. But a good alternative is Shakaware. Shakaware has some pretty good ones for more heavier weight stuff. So take a look at those and let me know what you think. I want a high-end quality, best black color, feel, and durability. I would recommend you check out AS Color. AS Color is awesome. I love AS Color. They have honestly one of the best quality controls in the market, super high end, and it's quality. Like on it, by far one of the best blanks in the market, AS Color. Gelato does have Shakaware, and Gelato also has AS Color. So definitely take a look at those two hoodies in order for you to start selling if you want to sell something a little bit more premium. Shakaware is definitely heavier, a little bit more scratchier. It feels more rugged, where AS Color is a little bit more elegant, soft, and a little bit more elevated in that sense. So I hope that helps. Guys, I had such a good time connecting with you guys. It's Friday. I have a meeting. I went over a little bit, but I really enjoyed connecting with you guys today. Again, this live stream was brought to you guys by Gelato. If you use gelato.com/John, you get 50% off your first order. Make sure you check out their Amazon and TikTok integrations. And I'll leave you guys off with this because I may not see you until after the holidays, after the Thanksgiving break. I hope you guys have an incredible Thanksgiving week. I think it's always an opportunity for us to reflect on how far we've come in our life, regardless of how the year has turned out for us. We're here another day. We were blessed to wake up with another chance of life. And because of that, I am always grateful. I hope you're grateful regardless of what's going on. It's all a mentality and a mindset. If you find your calling, once you find your calling and you find your passion, it doesn't matter what happens in this life. You'll continue going and you'll continue going hard and you'll have fun doing it. So for me, I just turned 34. I'm having my third kid now. It's a blessing. It's very hard. It's not easy, but it's awesome. And I love it and I enjoy it and I do it for them. So this Thanksgiving, I'm grateful to you guys because you guys have made this life a reality. You guys have allowed me to have this opportunity to chase my dream and my passions. And without you guys, I wouldn't be here. So I'm grateful to you guys. And I hope you guys have an incredible Thanksgiving break. And I'm looking forward to working with you guys in the next few months and the upcoming year. Streetcraftercommunity.com. I'll see you guys there, and I'll see you guys on the next one.